Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Adam Green here with No More News. Thank you for joining me today, Wednesday, April 9th, 2025. Got a huge show for you guys today. Trump has gone back and forth with these tariff wars. He put them on pause, which caused the stock market to explode today. The greatest gain since 2008, which was the housing bubble crisis. He's also made some more threats against Iran. Mike Huckabee has been confirmed as ambassador to Israel. Such a joke. Hardcore Christian Zionist end times fanatic should be nowhere near being an ambassador to Israel or in any position in government, let alone Pete Hegseth and their $1 trillion military budget now as a Third Temple fanatic. We also got some stuff about Tim Pool going and thought he was secretly meeting with Netanyahu. That meeting got revealed. He's got some comments about that as well. But wanted to start off with a little bit of updates and some bad news. So now it is official. Odysee's been hinting about this happening for a while. This is like the I counted today, the sixth time my main source of income since I've been doing No More News has been ripped away from me and taken away from me. By far, my primary source of income is your guys' super chats through Odysee, which I've built up over the years to 15,000 followers after being banned from YouTube. And then DLive. There's two main sources of income. After I got banned from YouTube, we went to DLive. After January 6th, they banned me along with all the other people, like as if it was my fault. So we got YouTube, DLive, PayPal, Patreon, Coinbase, and then now Odysee demonetized. And it's not just me, it's all of the platform. Some kooks online were fighting with each other and went and tattled to their payment processor. They abruptly terminated their account. They knew they had been giving them problems. They were warning them. But they were supposedly trying to work with them and give them some time to find a new payment processor. But no, now everybody's deplatformed, demonetized on Odysee. So now if you want to support the channel, and every time I get everything taken away from me, I always have to rebuild. I know it's always a struggle to rebuild to where I was at before. And nobody cares. I tweeted this, 166 likes, nothing. And so if you guys want to support Rumble, go watch on Rumble. But preferably, you guys can see pinned at the very top of Rumble and of Odysee is the Power Chat TTS, which I've been wanting to go back to. I haven't used it for several years, but now you can go click on that link. You can donate through there. We got a goal of $200 for our first show back after being demonetized. It's basically been the goal on Odysee as well. And it'll read the chat for me, so it'll save my voice a little bit and read your guys' super chat. You can also do videos and stuff. It's really cool. Almost everybody else uses it, so I got to figure out a way to get the Rumble super chats to also read through there. I know that's something that I've seen other channels do. So if you want to support, which I need your support, just lost all of my income. They've been trying for years to try to put me out of business. You get banned everywhere, and then online you get slandered and lied about and attacked and suppressed and blacklisted. It's rough. They're not trying to make it easy. I can't do this without your guys' support. So please, let's make the goal today. So this doesn't count as a big loss. I can't wait to see the first TTS. Who's going to be the first to do a TTS message? It reads it in the voice for you. You can choose your voice. It's really cool. Please support. And some other bad news, BitChute. So even before I was banned from YouTube, BitChute came up. It was an alternative, and I was automatically posting all of my YouTube videos to BitChute. And It was all I had. It was before Rumble. It was before Odysee. All I had after I was banned from YouTube in 2020 with 135,000 followers was BitChute and then DLive. DLive banned everybody, and I was on nothing but BitChute. And now BitChute has been banned from all of England. All of the homeland has banned BitChute. Some accounts were getting banned in all of Europe already. They're targeting all the alternative platforms. The only really one is Rumble besides YouTube, and Rumble's Peter Thiel and a bunch of Zionists. To our valued users in United Kingdom, after careful review and ongoing evaluation of the regulatory landscape of the UK, BitChute will discontinue its video sharing service for UK residents. So no more people in England can watch us on BitChute, unless, I guess, I don't know if they have a VPN or something. So there's the news. There's the housekeeping news. I can't wait to see what the first Super Chats TTS is going to be from you guys. Again, the link is in the pinned at the top of Rumble, pinned at the top of Odysee. Really sucks. Really sucks. On Twitter and X, I'm more suppressed than ever. I feel like there's just psyops and gay ops and suppression. It's all such shit. All of the kosher disinformation and milquetoast kosher influencers, they're all exploding, probably botted, probably psyoping, and we're suppressed more than ever. Yeah, I don't know about the subscriptions that you guys have. It's not just the Super Chats too, but I've been building up subscriptions like the alternative to being banned from Patreon and PayPal. Can't donate through that either. Won't show me any payment methods. You're telling me TTS isn't working either? You kidding me? Somebody else try the TTS and let me know. Jenna says they're not able to do it. And also in the description below, there's Subscribestar. Subscribestar has been good. Not many of you go over there and support on there. You never have. It's nowhere near making up for what they took when they took my Patreon away. And then the most annoying thing is online every day it's people lying about me and saying, "Oh, you're not censored. You're a psyop." Is that why none of my stuff ever it's all suppressed and doesn't go viral? Is that why I don't get invited on any big shows? Is that why I've been banned from almost everywhere? YouTube, Facebook, PayPal, Patreon, Coinbase, Squarespace, my website. I'm about to do a new order of shirts too. I'm designing a really cool shirt. 2 really cool shirts. I hope you guys all get those when those are ready. I'll be previewing those for pre-order soon. But it's annoying. It's a dark day when you lose basically all of your income again. And I hope Odysee is able to pull it together and get some new payment processor, but it's rough. There's not that many payment processors. They're all for censorship. And of course, there's the P.O. box below too, if you guys want to support via the mail. But not good news. Odysee and BitChute, 2 of the biggest alternative platforms, gone today. This sudden action appears to be the result of the same kind of coordinated brigading that started this fiasco. And we were given no opportunity to respond or appeal. We are continuing to develop an alternative payment solution. They've been saying that for like 4 or 5 months. Jenna's the only one trying, apparently. You can't donate? I don't know why it's not working, but that's a real bummer. Real bummer. And I get it. It's annoying, guys. You think it's annoying for you. It's annoying for me having to start over so many times. For you guys, it's like you already had your credit card info loaded into Odysee. It's easy, built into Odysee right there. And now you got to go to Entropy or you got to go to this. It's all so tiresome. Trying to expose the Abrahamic matrix, trying to expose these Jewish myths and Zionist influence, and you just get screwed. Mainstream alternative media blowing up with all their kosher disinformation more than ever. They're all multimillionaires and super rich, and the people that actually get it right and tell the truth are suppressed and slandered everywhere and banned everywhere and demonetized everywhere. It's all right. Enough of the tears and the crying. Here's Trump in the stock market. Thank you, Great Goy Shiok says, can't wait for the book. I know, I really need to get that finished. Here's Trump in the stock market stuff.
You started the morning saying be cool, and just a few hours later, there was a pause put in on the tariffs. Can you walk us through your thinking about why you decided to put a 90-day pause?
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, you know? They were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid, unlike these champions, because we have a big job to do. No other president would have done what I did. No other president. I know the presidents. They wouldn't have done it.
And my prediction has been that what Trump's doing right now, there's going to be all the haters. Chuck Schumer's calling it the Trump slump. All the haters are going to be proven wrong. Trump is going to look like, this is how I see the story unfolding. Trump is going to look like the hero. It's going to be an economic miracle. He's going to be the genius, the art of the deal. He's going to bring America back with these tariffs. There'll be more talk of the golden age of America, of Edom, and it's going to go to higher highs than ever before the big fall. That's what I think is going to happen. But it'll be just like Hitler in Germany, economic miracle, golden age, best economy ever, and all the credit's going to go to Trump as this businessman genius. That's where I think it's going to play out. What do you guys think? It's not like Trump's going to get in and do tariffs and America's just going to be destroyed. I doubt that. That's how I see the storyline playing out. So still no, God, it's a slow day too. Nobody's watching on Odysee. Televised Lies for 10 says, I can't donate much because I'm not in the best situation myself, but keep fighting the good fight, bro. Well, the $10 means a lot, Televised Lies. I understand. Bifurcatio says, is my Kelly Pot Cabal membership through Subscribestar? No, the subscriptions are all through Odysee. And I'm not sure exactly, I think it might have said in the email if those are continuing on or if they're on pause or what. I would say don't delete it yet unless they keep charging you or something. I don't know. We'll know soon. Great Goishiak, we got you. Lawful Pencil says, stay strong, man. Well, I mean, it's up to you guys. If I don't get the support, I'm going to have to do something else, and it's going to take up all my time from doing these streams and all the research and writing the book and everything. It's going to be awful. So, okay, here, I thought I had another video. Oh, it's Education Day as well, too. Trump is celebrating the Chabad Lubavitch Rebbe, April 9th, proclaiming Education and Sharing Day. The Rebbe's unwavering example has become woven into the fabric of our nation. The head of the EU yesterday was saying that the EU represents the Talmud represents the EU, and now Trump is saying the Rebbe and Chabad and Kabbalah, Talmudic Judaism all is woven into the fabric of America too. If only they know what they say about Edom. Where's the other video of so Stephen Miller says, you have been watching the greatest economic master strategy from an American president in history. This is today, a couple hours ago. 45,000 likes. See what I'm saying? The narrative already unfolded. I've been saying this for a while. This is what's going to happen. What else do we have here? White House press secretary.
She urged her colleagues. In June of 1996, Nancy Pelosi spoke on the House floor. She urged her colleagues at the time to fight against the status quo trade policies that had contributed to America's trade deficit with China. In fact, Nancy Pelosi said, how far does China have to go? How much more repression? How big a trade deficit? How many jobs have to be lost for the American workers? How much dangerous proliferation has to exist before members of this House of Representatives will say, I will not endorse the status quo? Those are the words of Nancy Pelosi in 1996. Well, President Trump is finally answering her call 27 years later.
They're digging up all the old clips of the Democrats that are saying how tariffs are a good thing.
Nancy Pelosi can thank President Trump today for the 104% retaliatory tariff that will be going into effect on China. In 2007, Chuck Schumer spoke of our nation's crippling trade deficit, saying these are the kinds of records the American people don't want us to be breaking. The administration needs to move beyond words, take action now to reverse a trend that threatens our prospects for future economic growth. And Chuck Schumer said that in 2007. Finally, in 2025, President Trump is taking action. Recently defeated Democrat Sherrod Brown said on deficits in 2012 that our deficit then at China had reached an all-time high, and it was on pace to recede last year's record. The trade deficit had cost American workers millions of jobs at the time. These are the words of Democrats years ago. It is about time America finally has a president who is taking action to restore those millions of jobs back to the United States of America, to boost our manufacturing industry. He's doing what's right for the American people. It will take a lot of labor. It will take a lot of effort. But that's exactly what the American people elected this president to do.
He's going to look like the man. The Trump aura, the Trump glow is going to be higher than ever if he turns America around. I think that's what's going to happen. It'll be the highest high before the total rug pull and destruction and fall of Edom. Brother B, thanks, buddy, says, having trouble signing up for Super Chats. Do you mean Power Chat? Do you like my new They Live Trump icon? Of course I do. Love that. I'm wearing mine right now. The new shirts are really cool, too. Can't wait to wear them myself. I don't think you have to sign up for Power Chat. You just do your credit card stuff, type in your message and your name if you want to, and choose your voice, and it'll go on and read it. It would be nice to get one. I know. See, this is what happens, too. People know. They ban you from one place. Everybody doesn't migrate over to the new place because you know how it is. So a lot of places you got to sign up and email and password and credit card info in. It's a hassle. And people don't do it, and every time I get banned, they win. I think we have the clips of
75 countries, and we saw the successful negotiating strategy that President Trump implemented a week ago today. It has brought more than 75 countries forward to negotiate. It took great courage for him to stay the course until this moment. And
everybody's saying Power Chat not letting me choose a method of payment. All right, well, I guess I got to look into that. I scrambled right before the stream today to try to get it back up and running again, and apparently it's
what
not
we
working.
have ended up with here, as I told everyone a week ago, they are in this very spot. Do not retaliate, and you will be rewarded. So every country in the world who wants to come and negotiate, we are willing to hear you. We're going to go down to a 10% baseline tariff for them, and China will be raised to 125 due to their insistence on escalation. And we saw the successful negotiating strategy.
Okay, that's not the one. This is a hilarious meme today. Xi Jinping reading Trump Art of the Deal and Trump reading The Art of War, Sun Tzu's The Art of War. That's kind of good. Trump tweeted out this afternoon, do not retaliate and you will be rewarded. He's coming on like a bully on the world. These threats, big threats, trade wars, tariff wars. It really is something else. So they're saying that Trump knew he was going to do these high tariffs, scare the markets, and then he paused the tariffs today right before they were about to go in effect, which sent the stock market back up. And now some of the Democrats like Adam Schiff are saying that he should be investigated for insider trading and manipulating the markets.
From the administration.
How concerned are you with this market fluctuation, and are you concerned that there could be members of the White House that are benefiting from it?
Absolutely. I'm writing to the White House to demand who knew in advance that the president was going to once again flip-flop on tariffs, and are people cashing in? There is just...
Are you guys cashing in? He did the same thing too. He threatened Canada and Mexico and then pulled them or paused them right when they were about to go into effect.
All too much opportunity for people in the White House.
It's causing a lot of volatility and chaos.
Administration to be insider trading, and you can't put it past them for a minute. So we're going to try to find out.
There's a good chance they'll just ignore you, though, right? Should there be some other independent investigation into this?
Well, I think Congress should do an investigation into this, but we're going to demand answers from the administration. I think you're right. They're likely to stonewall, particularly if they've been engaged in corrupt insider trading. But they won't be able to hide it for good. I mean, we know who's in the administration. We can look at eventually what people are buying and selling. This will come out. But an administration that has their own meme coins and is already engaged in self-interested dealing when Elon is doging agencies that are doing oversight of his own businesses, in that kind of corrupt climate, you have to assume the worst, and we're going to try to find out.
Assume the worst and then try to find out. Okay, here's the clips of them years ago.
This is a shock.
Talking about tariffs, and now they're outraged for the things they were calling for a long time ago.
Please. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, they've been talking about tariffs for decades.
How far does China have to go? How much more repression? How big a trade deficit and loss of jobs for the American worker?
It says to the Chinese that their unfair trade policies have got to end. It says to the Chinese, this is a shot across your bow. Reform, because if you don't, there are going to be dramatic consequences.
How come when these Democrat elites want tariffs, everything's hunky-dory, but when President Trump wants tariffs, all hell breaks loose? Do you see this double standard?
I love this guy, whoever the hell that is. That's really nice. I appreciate that question. No, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, everybody knew you had to do it, but they never had the guts to do it. It does take guts. It even takes guts for our country to go through it. That's why I say be cool. They were saying about, see, just be cool. It's going to work out.
Just be cool, guys.
It's work.
Trump's so chill. Just be cool. Don't panic. He said it was going to be rough. Also, his logic has been he wants the Fed to lower interest rates as well for the big boom.
Working out. I can tell you, working out maybe faster than I thought. But I said it's going to take a little conditioning. It's a transition to. It's really, I think it's a transition to
test
greatness.
User sent $50 test message.
Our country is going to there'll be nothing like it. And people investing in our country, they're going to do better than they've ever done before. Yeah, please.
Trump celebrates Chabad Rebbe Education Day. Here's See Through It All's clip of the Rebbe in 1988.
Do you have a message for the non-Jewish world, Rebbe?
That it will be peace for all the world by performing all the 7 mitzvahs of the Meir.
Do you feel that we've entered a messianic age, Rebbe? Do you feel that we entered the age of the Messiah, Rebbe?
Long ago.
Long ago?
Long ago.
Do you have a message for the non-Jewish world, Rebbe?
That it will
long ago, he says, long ago. Live chat TTS volume, can I turn that down too? Okay. Oh, so let's see here. So remember, what did I cover? What state was that yesterday? Kentucky just voted for the Noahide Law, Chabad Lubavitch Rebbe moment of silence. So that's Arizona, Florida, and Kentucky now. Trump declares Educational Day, honors the Rebbe's birthday. Remember, he went with Howard Lutnick and Ben Shapiro and the rabbi at the Israel Heritage Foundation to go visit the grave. Let's see, do we have his quote here? This is it. No, this is their quote, not Trump's quote. Donald Trump, hereby, therefore, President of the United States, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the laws of the United States, proclaims today Education Sharing Day. Every 50 states do this as well, too. They all do their own proclamation. I call upon government officials, educators, volunteers, and all the people of the United States to observe this day with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Like what? Moment of silence, Noahide prayers. Education and sharing day. And every president's been doing this since like Reagan or Bush, I think. Bush is the first to sign it, but Reagan was meeting with Chabad as well. I missed a 50 donation. No, it didn't. That was me doing a test, seeing if the test still worked. Watch, I can do that again. At least I think I can. Is that...
Test user sent $50 test message.
Is that way too loud for you guys? Is that piercing your ears? I could try to turn that down. I think. Soundboards. Oh, there's a soundboard thing on here too. That's cool. Maybe I'll add my soundboard stuff on there.
Help me, Jesus! Help me, Jewish God!
That's what I need. I need some help from Jesus.
Forget about it!
Then maybe I'll get some tithes. Maybe I'm going to have to convert to be a Jesus shill. It is a bit loud. Let's see. Let's turn it down a bunch. 50%. How about this?
Test user sent $50 test message.
That's better, right? That's good. Dude, I don't know. What's the deal? StreamYard, I streamed with 7 C's yesterday on StreamYard. And for some reason, my microphone is so incredibly loud and theirs is quiet. There's no way in StreamYard to change. There's no meters where you can change it. And the problem that I was having before of having the echo when I'm sharing a screen and audio, not happening anymore. I didn't change anything. The echo's gone. StreamYard needs to have audio that you can change yourself. Okay, and then I found this. Zionist Cuck says, and by your own website, I mean as one in the click video uploads, a live streaming for the website that you already have. Dude, I can barely even do a basic website, let alone my own live streaming website. Plus, it's like, I'm still able to stream on Odysee and Rumble and X. Based Indian for you says, try to hang in there, bro. Power chat didn't work for me either. Okay, well, it's apparently not working. I think we've made that pretty clear. I'll have to figure out why it's not working. Here is Catholic Mike Lawler 11 months ago commemorating Education and Sharing Day and the Rebbe. I guess this was last year, April 19th last year. It's the 9th this year.
To recognize education. Mr. Speaker, today I rise to recognize Education and Sharing Day, where we honor the enduring legacy of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson. The Rebbe was not only a spiritual leader, but also a beacon of hope and resilience. Escaping the horrors of Nazi Europe, he found refuge in our great nation, where he revitalized a community shattered by the Holocaust. Under his guidance, the Chabad Lubavitch movement flourished, advocating for education and moral integrity as the cornerstones of a just society. Chabad's vision is clear. Education is a fundamental pillar in cultivating a compassionate society.
And he means education of the 7 Noahide laws, by the way. What did he say here, Tim?
As the cornerstones of a just society.
The cornerstone, the 7 laws are the cornerstone of a just society. They say, oh, it's just like, oh, Christians, it's the Noahide. You guys believe in Noah and the Rainbow Covenant. The laws are just from there. They're basic. Don't worry about it. They're basically like the 10 Commandments, what's Arkansas just passed a law mandating the 10 Commandments. That's why they got rid of the Department of Education, so they can, on a state-by-state basis, do their Noahide law prayer and moment of silence, do their 10 Commandments / Noahide laws in the schools.
Chabad's vision is clear. Education is a fundamental pillar in cultivating a compassionate society. The work of Chabad groups across the country, and especially in Rockland and Westchester counties in New York, are critical. In today's tumultuous times, Chabad's message is more relevant than ever. We face a resurgence of anti-Semitism here in the United States, where we see playing out daily on college campuses. In response, we must recommit ourselves to fighting for dignity, honesty, and justice for all. As we approach the 30th anniversary of the Rebbe's passing, let's never cease.
Dignity. The founding document of Chabad says that non-Jewish souls are impure and come from the evil side of darkness. Does that sound like dignity?
Working to create a nation that truly serves as a beacon of hope and freedom to the world. Thank you, and I yield back.
So what is the actual truth about the Noahide laws? Here's the Temple Institute Rabbi Richman.
We're all children of Noah.
Who is photographed in front of the Dome of the Rock with Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense. Listen to what he has to say about the Noahide laws and those of the Gentiles that won't follow them.
Right, we're all B'nai Noach. We all are children of the covenant that Noach made with Hashem. We have the responsibility always to uphold those rules, those 7 rules, those 7 mitzvot of Noach, the covenant of Noach, the covenant that Hashem emblazoned in the rainbow. It's our responsibility. It is our responsibility to destroy those who abrogate that covenant, because that means they are of the generation of the flood. If you're not part of the covenant of Noach,
see, if you don't follow the Noahide laws, that means you're the generation of the flood and you will be genocided. That's what he's alluding to when he says that.
Covenant, because that means they are of the generation of the flood. If you're not part of the covenant of Noach, then you are part of the generation of the flood, and you need to be removed from this earth. We all are.
Imagine honoring this idea of Noahide laws where they say Edom's going to be destroyed and you're going to be removed from this earth and your soul comes from the evil darkness and you hate us for no reason. And our politicians, Catholic politicians like Lawler, are up there honoring this guy. All of the presidents honoring this guy.
B'nai Noach, and of course, Israel, the Jewish people, we have an additional covenant that imposes even more do's and don'ts that we also adhere to. But as I said, the covenant of Noach is universal.
Universal. That means it's for all the Goyim. All the Goyim are obligated to follow. And I could go on and on with the what does that say? Putting Chabad on the map. Meet Lubavitcher's Rebbe, Judaism's most impactful rabbi. We'll have to watch that maybe. Arkansas, the first state now to advancing bill to display the 10 Commandments in the schools. The Hebrew Torah, worship of the God of Israel, the laws of Moses or Moshe, trying to indoctrinate the youth. You say it like Christians will say there's nothing they hate more than Jesus, yet the rabbis are celebrating the Bible and the 10 Commandments in schools. You realize that, right? They're the ones pushing for Noahide laws in schools. Arkansas faith leaders urge overwhelming. They passed the moment of silence in Kentucky, and now it's going to the desk of the governor. He's very likely going to sign mandating the 10 Commandments in public schools in Arkansas. Jeez, I really wish. I hope Power Chat is going to work. I hope I'm not banned from Power Chat too. I don't know if maybe I need to set up some type of credit thing or something. I don't know why it's not giving you an option. Donald Trump stated, this is out today, Jerusalem Post. Donald Trump stated that if a military action is necessary concerning Iran, Israel will not only participate, but will also take the lead. That's surprising. He says Israel's going to have to take the lead against Iran. Here's the clip.
Military, we're going to have military. Israel will, but with Iran, if it requires military, we're going to have military. Israel will obviously be very much involved in that. He'll be the leader of that. But nobody leads us. We do what we want to do.
Israel will be the leader of an attack on Iran? I doubt that.
But with Iran, if it requires military, we're going to have military. Israel will obviously be very much involved in that. He'll be the leader of that. But nobody.
Israel's going to lead the attack on Iran? Mike Huckabee confirmed just yesterday. I was saying they haven't been able to confirm him. Maybe they're going to block him. Maybe he's too much of a religious fanatic to be the ambassador to Israel. Nope. Confirmed a few hours ago. Mike Huckabee, ultra Zionist, Christian Zionist fanatic, end times fanatic, worships Israel, worships God's chosen people. Ambassador to Israel confirmed by the Senate. Most Zionist cabinet ever. I don't even want to go through all the horrendous clips of him. I covered it on a stream when he was first nominated a couple months ago. But it's bad. It's bad. Prime Minister of Israel Netanyahu is congratulating to his dear friend Huckabee upon being confirmed as the next ambassador of the U.S. to Israel. This is a great day for the Israeli-American alliance. Yes, he's very happy about his Christian Zionist Shabbos Goy. He says, "Thank you, and Bibi. I look forward to working with you as we pray for the peace of Jerusalem." You mean pray for the destruction of the Dome of the Rock and the takeover of Judea and Samaria and Gaza and the promised land and the return, the second coming and the rapture and the return of Jesus. Such clown world that this is real. Rapture ready. Homeland Security. So Kristi Noem, the other ultra-Zionist Christian, Kristi Noem, who just went on her little propaganda photo op tour. She's been doing a lot of those. It's ridiculous. Holding the gun right at the guy's face. Acting like she's going and doing arrests and stuff. It's such a joke. It's like OnlyFans. We have a OnlyFans MILF Homeland Security head. Zionist OnlyFans MILF. Thank you, Alabama. Says, I have been subbed on to Odysee and Rumble. I can switch to the Rumble to Subscribe Star for now. Thank you so much. Can't believe it's reality. It's clown world.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills.
She says, she shares the Blaze story. Exclusive. Immigration agency to scour social media to prevent foreign pro-terror anti-Semites from getting benefits. And this is only the start. This is how they'll start it. You think they're going to scour the internet? Just wait until they pass more BDS laws and anti-Semitism laws and Anti-Semitism Awareness Act and the IRA definition. Then they're going to be scouring the internet for everything you've ever said about Israel and send you to the gulag in El Salvador like Trump has been hinting at. Get you banned from everything. They're already doing that. Get you banned and unemployable. They're starting with the foreigners. What makes you think they're going to stop there and not do it to citizens too? Homeland Security gets in, Zionist Homeland Security, scouring the internet to stop anti-Israel protesters. First order of business. They say there is no room in the U.S. for the rest of the world's terrorist sympathizers. Anybody that's critical of Israel and what they're doing to Gaza, their influence over America, terrorist. Opposing Israel, you are a terrorist. You are an Amalekite terrorist. That's the way it works, Goy. Says the world's terrorist sympathizers, and we are under no obligation to admit them or let them stay here. Anyone who thinks they can come to America and hide behind the First Amendment to advocate for anti-Semitic violence and terrorism, think again. You are not welcome, and I highly doubt they're going to stop at anti-Semitic violence and terrorism. It's going to be any criticism. Yeah, Homeland Security didn't even exist until 9/11. Another great gift, the fruits of the Homeland Security gift. Goodman Brown says, thanks for everything you do. The shirts are great. They are great shirts. I wasn't lying about that. I'm going to do V-necks for the next ones. I like V-necks. For the first time in decades, a new poll is out. I think it's Pew Research. A new poll is out for the first time in decades. A majority, 53% of Americans view Israel unfavorably. 50% of Republicans from 18 to 49 hold an unfavorable view of Israel, while older Republicans hold an overwhelmingly favorable view. So all the Christian Zionist boomers, all the Fox News, Rush Limbaugh boomers all still support Israel. So Israel has to act fast. They're going to lose influence over America the way things are heading right now. Maybe they'll lose influence over the population, but just because the population feels one way doesn't mean that the politicians and the people in power feel that way. And they'll try to drag their feet and fight it all they can. Like Trump says, you have to love Israel more. Let's see some of these things. Democrats much more likely to be critical of Israel, negative views of Israel. So this means Israel knows this. They know that time is not on their side. So they have to act fast for whatever they want to do before they lose support. It's almost like the prophetic, once the fullness of the Gentiles has come in, once the fullness of the Gentiles of believing in Jesus and Jewish prophecy, once the fullness of the Gentiles, the fullness of the support from Edom comes in, that's when Edom's going to rise, and then Edom's going to fall. With the Gog and Magog, Iran, Russia, and China war. Billy Carson for 25. Thank you, Billy. Thank you so much for your generous contribution. Says, hey, Adam, love your streams. You and Devin Stack are my favorites. Question, what was the final straw that made you quit Christianity? There was never a final straw that made me quit because I never really was sold on it. Even as a kid, I was like, these stories sound like bullshit. God sending himself, his son, to die for us because of Adam and Eve. Get dipped in the water, drink the blood, and you're saved. Noah's Ark. God said, let there be light. I never believed it. I was scared into believing in hell and demons, but I'd say I stopped going to church. I went to church my whole life until I was like 15 or 16. And I'd say YouTube, a few years after that, when I was in college, like watching YouTube, I really was sure that it was not real, but I was never really bought into it. Despite all the pressure from the church and my parents and my grandparents and my peers and the Vacation Bible School and the church camps, the peer pressure at the church camps, like the music, the love bombing, come on up. If you're not saved yet, come on up and let's baptize you and be washed of your sins. And I was just like, I never wanted to do it. I thought it was bullshit. I'm like, this is culty. Little did I know it was a Jewish cult. What was it? Is that Anti-Judaic says, the Gallup poll, 66% of Americans who attend church weekly or almost every week are sympathetic to Israelis, compared with 13% who are sympathetic to the Palestinians. Sympathy for Israel drops to 46 among those who never attend. So you're more likely to go to church. The more likely people are to be pro-Israel, anti-racism, pro-diversity. And that's probably why Ben Shapiro and Zionists like Dennis Prager are promoting Jesus and Christianity. That's probably why pro-Jesus content goes viral on every platform. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, X, everywhere. Your checkout stand at the grocery, they got Jesus shit. They got the new Chosen movie out in theaters. They got the new Netflix Christian shows all the time. But still. So now we got Tim Pool told Netanyahu during a press conference that Qatar was behind the rise in anti-Semitic content online. I hear this a lot. What's the proof or what's the angle of Qatar being behind everything? Behind all of this. A lot of times that there's over-the-top crazy anti-Jew stuff, I think it's the Jews funding it because that helps them. It discredits the opposition. It gives them their victim status. Are they scapegoating Qatar for what they're doing? Tim Pool thought he was doing a secret meeting with Bibi in the White House. And this guy's been a Zionist shill forever. Never. He's not Christian, supposedly, but he says he's a supporter of Christianity, even though he doesn't believe. Never had on anybody to expose how Jesus is fake and Jewish. Tim Pool going for his little insider White House meetings with Netanyahu. And then apparently Tim Pool claims that this is fake news. Not that he went, but that he said that Qatar is running ops. He's bald, says the chat. Yeah, that Qatar is running ops online and paying people. I've heard Russia. I've heard Qatar. I've heard it's the Jews themselves. I've heard from Adam King it's secret Nazis doing it. Everyone shilling the Qatar narrative is on the Jewish payroll, confirmed. Netanyahu pushes back on anti-Israel trend in meeting with podcasters. Let's go read a little bit of this. God, what is my hair doing today? I went to the gym and took a shower afterwards, so this is like post-shower. It's not post-bedhead hair. It's post-shower hair. Looking a little flat. Netanyahu pushes back on anti-Israel trends in meeting with podcasters. He largely avoided questions about Iran's nuclear program. Oh, come on. Tim Pool expressed concerns about increased anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism in the pro-Trump podcasting space. According to sources in the room, Pool says this is bullshit, by the way, but who knows if he's telling the truth. Probably lying. Pool famously had Kanye West on his podcast, and the rapper walked out mid-interview after Pool pushed back against anti-Semitic comments. Responding to Pool, Netanyahu said that is the reason he invited the group to meet with him, because of Kanye and Nick Fuentes. Pool asked if there was a Qatari op. Okay, so he didn't say there was a Qatari op. He asked if it's a Qatari op, if Netanyahu knew anything about a Qatari op. To manipulate social media algorithms to make anti-Semitic and anti-Israel episodes appear to receive an outsized number of views in order to incentivize podcasters and YouTubers to produce more anti-Semitic content. It's the idea of like being captured by your audience and swayed by bots, rewarding you for certain rhetoric, punishing you for others. Netanyahu said it's possible. And then he said Qatar, as well as Iran, that Israel and the U.S. share the same adversaries. He said he would never ask America to put boots on the ground in its defense.
Last night I wasn't here. I got late work.
I saw Tim Pool when oh, sorry, that didn't even have that on the screen. I saw Tim Pool was like saying that he was going to a White House meeting with Netanyahu, and I thought that was a joke. I thought that was a troll, and it turned out to be real.
Word that I was invited to. Last night I wasn't here. I got late word that I was invited to a private roundtable meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. It was under what's called...
Imagine thinking you're like some independent journalist and a truth seeker when you got the exclusive access to Trump for interviews. Luke Radowski is co-host and Tim Pool are hanging out at Mar-a-Lago. And he gets invited to the Netanyahu meetings. It really explains how Beanie Boy has exploded so much when he's got that type of connections and friends, right? Explains a lot. We're all suppressed, and I don't even know who likes Tim Pool. All of these big, like Jordan Peterson, Tim Pool, all these big people, I don't understand why anybody watches them. Tim Pool's co-host, like unwatchable. The most cringe, the worst takes, the most popular somehow. And then this explains a lot.
Chatham House rules, for those that are not familiar. This means that you cannot reveal anybody who attended, nor attribute anything to any one individual, as they can deny it, and they would.
He was promised privacy on the meeting, and he got outed.
Last night I wasn't here. I got late word that I was invited to a private roundtable meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. It was under what's called Chatham House rules, for those that are not familiar. This means that you cannot reveal anybody who attended, nor attribute anything to any one individual, as they can deny it, and they would. However, what I love about what the White House is currently doing, when you bring together a bunch of influencers and podcasters who don't know much about journalism culture, whatever you want to call it, not that we respect it tremendously, most people didn't know what Chatham House meant. So with all due respect, it's funny because they bring us into the Blair House, which is where Netanyahu was staying. And immediately people are walking around with their cameras, their phones up. They actually took our phones from us. And I legit thought they would maintain Chatham House rules, meaning you can't quote the prime minister, you can't quote his officials and the other people who were there.
Well, you got put on blast. Sorry. Yeah. Can you imagine that? Like, how many other chatting house rules meetings has he been to? How many other secret private meetings with the prime minister of Israel and Zionists has he attended? You're telling me big, hugely influential podcasters like Tim Pool are down to go be meeting with foreign leaders like that and keep it a secret? He was also getting paid by Tenet Media and Russia money as well.
But you can report what was said generally. If you wanted an official quote on a specific matter, you would then ask an official once the meeting was wrapped, and they'd provide you the exact quote. Or they would just say outright, like, we ain't putting our quotes on that one.
He says Jewish insiders' report was close to reality, but still fake news. He said that, okay, we'll just play what he said.
There's been a report. It's close to reality, but this is what they do, okay? First, the person who was there clearly wasn't there. Ask somebody who then conveyed incorrectly what I actually said. I said there has been a report released from pro-Israel sources alleging Qatar is funding bots and operations to promote anti-Israel content. Is there any evidence that's true? And he said, I don't know. It's possible. That's what happened. I did not say they actually were doing that because I don't know that they're actually doing it. However, I did... I
wonder if they fixed the article and it said something different originally, because that's what I read in the article too. He asked if that's what was going on, because that is an accusation that I've heard quite a bit.
A variety of people express what I've expressed on this show, that there are clearly bots that are anti-Israel and anti-Semitic. That is not to say that people who are critical of Israel don't exist.
I said this yesterday. We know that the internet is botted to hell. We could see the financial crypto bots, the porn bots. We know that intelligence agencies around the world are botting the internet. So what are they? The only question is, what are they botting? So you ask, what out of nowhere, like overnight, has exploded to being botted the most? It's not our stuff, I'll tell you that. But the low IQ Christian anti-Semitism stuff, exploding more than ever. The kooky distraction controlled op talking points like Jesus isn't Jewish and the Nazis were Christian, that type of stuff explodes more than ever. I think that's what's being botted. He's asking if it's Qatar. I think it could be Jews in Russia, through Russia, Russia controlling one side, through Unit 8200 and Hasbara from Israel also.
Exist, or that no one is critical of Israel. People certainly are. So my concern was, and I will say this too, speaking about the meeting, how they discussed Iran, the threat, and all of these things, I feel, based on that meeting, and I don't know if this was their intention or otherwise, that they are absolutely clueless as to what is going on in this country. They are too heavily focused on...
Elon promised that he was going to get rid of the bots. He said bots are a huge issue. Doesn't seem like he's done anything about it. Seems like they've gotten worse. In fact, when Elon decided to hide the likes, so now we can't go on any post and click on the likes and see all the accounts and try to decipher if they're bots or not. He hid that so bots can proliferate more than ever. And let's not forget, Elon's been close family friends with Netanyahu for a long time, like his father said. And Elon was Netanyahu's special guest invite to when he addressed Congress a few months ago. Something's going on. They benefit from the Christian-controlled op kosher conspiracies that are exploding on the internet. Covers up the truth. It makes Jews the victims. It's the whole narrative of the rise of anti-Semitism in Edom. Something's up with it.
On kinetic, on the ground Israel issues, which I can understand, I guess. And my attitude, and I'll tell you one thing I said to them, to these officials. In 10 years, your support will be your support from the U.S. will be evaporating, and in 20 years, you will not have U.S. support. That's what I said. So, and I stand by that. I don't know.
The poll just showed that as well, too. You don't think the Israelis know this? There was the leaked audio of the ADL's Jonathan Greenblatt, who is like, we have a demographic problem. It's not a left-wing, right-wing. It's a youth. It's a TikTok problem. They got to do something with TikTok, which they did, which they were able to do. And so they know it. So they're in a dangerous position. Their backs are against the wall a little bit. Time is not on their side. The future is not looking good. So it means they're dangerous. And if they're going to need to do anything, they're going to need to do it now. It means we're in a dangerous time. A little bit of desperation. They're up against the clock.
When it came to talks about Iran, certainly there was a deep concern. And the general conveyance from the Israelis was, Iran says death to America. You are their principal target. They are upset that the U.S. is exerting power in the region, which they want to exert. So they're coming for you. Israel's an ally of the United States. Israel's an enemy of Iran. Iran wants to crush Israel, and they want to crush the United States. The sentiment being conveyed was whether the U.S. wants it or not.
Iran wants to crush the United States? Maybe they just don't want us supporting Israel in everything they do, especially in Gaza. Maybe that's the problem. The idea that Iran just hates America for our freedom or something. No, it's because of our support for Israel. It's because of Trump tearing up the Iran nuclear deal. It's because of the sanctions and stuff that they're doing on them and the Netanyahu's decades-long crusade against Iran.
We will be in a war with Iran, whether we start it or they start it. I'm not entirely convinced that's true.
Let's see, we got more?
When I mentioned...
Oh, how many more of this?
The allegation, and the point I brought up when I mentioned the allegations, which they're allegations of, I don't know if there's evidence of this, which is why I asked, about Qatari... Let me see if I can pull this up. I think I actually have the allegations in question. Let me see if I can find this. Here we go. What is this? FDD.
There are people that are saying that Tucker Carlson is being funded by Qatar as well.
I don't believe that anyone's being funded by Qatar. So FDD, this is the Foundation for Defense of Democracy, says Al Jazeera allegedly using bots to spread propaganda while skirting U.S. law. This came out December 9th. I did not assert this was true. I said, is there evidence to corroborate this? Largely because what I see happening is multifaceted. I've talked to enough young people. Probably not enough, to be completely honest. But I've talked to young people. Where's this story? Here we go. Who are scared to call for the suspension of TikTok, largely because of the anti-Israel cohort. So typically the conversations go, the only reason Democrats and Republicans want to ban TikTok is because of Israel, which is true and correct. But there's a bunch of other reasons why we should force TikTok to divest as well.
That's a good point. I kind of agree with that take,
Conversations
actually.
go, the only reason Democrats and Republicans want to ban TikTok is because of Israel, which is true and correct.
Based. Tim's got it right. TikTok sucks, though. It is China being able to influence an algorithm and dumb everybody down. I was banned from TikTok, and the flat earth and the kosher conspiracies explodes on TikTok. I'll post my rabbi compilations on TikTok, and you would get like 100 views, 1 like, and then ultimately was banned. Other people steal my edits, repost them, and they would go viral sometimes. But it would always be like they would change something and put like Synagogue of Satan on it, or it'd be an account that also promoted a bunch of disinfo.
But there's a bunch of other reasons why we should force TikTok to divest as well. I see the younger protesters are largely anti-Israel, and I see right now there is no message conveyed to young people why they should support Israel, and I'm not saying that I do. I'm asking them, what are you paying attention to? Now, I'll tell you this. My having left this meeting is they're clueless to the issue. They don't know, despite the fact there was literally a protest outside, they were dismissive of. They say these things happen. The trends that I see are...
There's a protest outside of the White House with Netanyahu. Oh, I saw something about the fences were going up around the Capitol, the White House, and somebody posted that. I didn't know if it was real or not. I still don't. But they're like, the fences are going up again. Something's happening. They're like, it could be because the stock market's going to collapse. But I guess it was to keep the protesters, the anti-Netanyahu protesters away.
Younger people are increasingly anti-Israel. And on the right, they're relatively neutral or don't care. My prediction, as I made over a year ago, is that with the anti-war elements of the populist movement on the right and the anti-Israel section of the left, not to mention there is a smaller but still prominent anti-Israel right, Israel's not going to have support from this country in 20 years. The U.S. is going to say, we've got two factions. Young people on the right who are following in the footsteps of MAGA populist movement who don't want to fund foreign wars, they vote no on Israel. The far left that hates Israel, they vote no on Israel. Israel, you got no funding anymore. That's what I see happening.
Christianity, if Christianity takes a huge blow in America, Israel loses a bunch of their funding and their voters and their supporters. Also as well. Less Christians in America, less Christian Zionism. But no, all of the biggest pro-Zionist voices all promote Jesus, the ones that aren't Jewish at least, even the ones that, some of them that are Jewish. And also all of the anti-Zionist influencers also promoting Jesus. Full spectrum dominance. Controlled opposition. Do we got more? Tim Pool went on to speak with a self-described raging Zionist, Cam Higbee, about his stalwart support for the Jewish state. Cam Higbee was the guy that I had the back and forth with on Adam King's stream he did like a month ago. Adam King hasn't been streaming or doing any shows at all. InfoWars is like giving him the cold shoulder and blackballing him. But he had me on with like 5 Zionists. The show was called the Zionist Power Hour. And that's when I talked to Cam Higbee, which, surprise, surprise, is on with Tim Pool.
But I think that's fairly obvious when you talk to any, Zoomers. They're clearly not pro-Israel. They look at the United States and say, look, we have our own problems here. And they look at our history of, foreign adventurism, and they're like, this hasn't worked out for me personally. I can't afford this. I can't pay bills, or I can't have a nice place, or whatever. So I think it's fairly obvious, right?
I think it comes from a lack of education on like how foreign policy actually works, and the fact that you literally cannot survive in this world without allies. 10 guys show up to beat you up. Are you going to fight them all by yourself? No, you need...
What, we won't survive without Israel? Is that what you're trying to say, Cam?
Friends, Phil might. What's that?
What?
I said Phil might.
Phil might. Yeah. But you see this from people in Congress, too, that they just don't understand how foreign policy works. I think is really unfortunate. But the other issue to what you're talking about with like the lack of Gen Z support for Israel is there are no like pro-Israel champions that I really see. I talk about Israel a lot. I'm a raging Zionist. but I don't see a whole lot of other people who have like a firm understanding of the history and the context.
Most people can't make a cogent argument that that young people find compelling as to why we should.
Which is why on the right, it's sure Israel can do it.
They just need better propaganda. They need better influencers. They need to buy off more influencers.
Thing don't care, and on the left it's down with Israel. So I actually, here's a question for you guys. Can you honest question, this is not a gotcha, because I'm looking for a real answer.
Yeah, that show was great with Cam Higbee. Adam had me 1-on-5 against 5 Zionists. He does it sometimes. He'll go on a stream with 5 anti-Zionists.
For those that are listening,
so I went on and I had a Zionist, what would you call it?
Can you name a prominent,
Inquisition,
high-profile, large following? I'm talking like a podcast with millions of listeners who is staunchly pro-Israel, advocating very heavily for Israel.
Someone who's Gen Z?
Ben Shapiro?
Anybody in the podcast space?
Dennis Prager is
like Ben Shapiro's an obvious one.
Yep. You know. Dennis Prager. It ain't Shmuley Boteach. He's not a good voice for the cause. Although he knows what he's doing, provoking anti-Semitism against him to play the victim. He knows what he's doing. Analyze his daughter's video the other day. They know the game they're playing. Dennis Prager, by the way, chosen and blessed by God. Apparently he fell in the shower and severed his spine and is paralyzed from the neck down or something. Okay, let's see. What is this? All right. Tim Pool suggests that Nick Fuentes and his supporters are an Israeli op.
People who are criticizing Israel. The anti-Israel social media users like Fuentes' crowd are the biggest pro-Israel group I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. Don't take my, it's not my opinion. There is actually a prominent conspiracy theory that Fuentes is an Israeli op, because that's how weird it goes. Because when he and his supporters go on social media and attack people, it pushes them towards Israel.
And it makes anti-Semites look unhinged and insane. And you killed God. You worship the devil. You're the synagogue of Satan. All of this vulgar stuff as well. It's counterproductive. This is what I've always been saying. It doesn't mean they're necessarily an op. It could just be they're edgelords, and
it makes them.
There's incentive online, like who could be the most racist, who could be the most edgy, who could hate Israel the most. It becomes like a competition in a race, an arms race on who could hate Israel the most.
Hate the people who are criticizing Israel, whereas Dave Smith don't do that. Dave Smith makes you laugh and feel good, and you're
Dave Smith is a shill. Come on, Dave Smith is Jewish and limited hangout.
Why does the crowd comes by and they call you a bunch of names and insult you and post pictures about you when you didn't even say anything, and it's like.
Pictures of him in the beanie, in the small hats and stuff. There's been some good. I mean, dude, you got invited to a Netanyahu anti-Semitism meeting for a reason, and you're crying about them trolling you.
I get a wave of criticism because I was like, oh, I don't really care about Israel. I'm like, aha, you're a Zionist, and I'm like, I literally said I just don't care, and they're like, well,
you should care. Saying you don't care is like running cover for all the influence they have. I don't buy that. Alex Jones used to try that one too. Oh, I don't care. They're just another country. What about Ukraine? Remember when Tim Pool said that? Zog and Mazog, I love that name, for 10 says, hey, Adam, did you see the Christian owner of Give-Send-Go on X saying that he's keeping the black murderers donation page up because even the most heinous criminals deserve the best lawyers? Yeah, they have the integrity that the other side doesn't have. You know, they'll ban all types of people from, not Give, Send, Go. What's the other one? GoFundMe will ban everybody on the right. But then you give the platforms to them. This Texas murder of the high school football player has raised, like, I think almost $300,000 at this point for his defense. And there's psyops going online, forgeries of, like, the police saying certain things about the case that aren't true, and people are raising money after that, and all the blacks are like, oh, I'm siding with the black guy. I don't even know what happened, and I got the black guy's back, and they're all supportive of this black guy that went and caused shit and then stabbed this kid in the heart. It's very disturbing to see. Yes, and of course the Christian guy, the Christian Give, Send, Go is the one helping them raise $300,000.
Because I was like, oh, I don't really care about Israel. I'm like, aha, you're a Zionist. And I'm like, I literally said, I just don't care.
Yeah, Dave Smith is like a Trump shill, though. Remember Trump went and spoke at the Libertarian Convention, and he was like all for him and stuff. And now today he's like, oh, we've been had all these Zionists and RFK and Cash Patel, and he's like, we got hoodwinked. Who would have thought? I don't know. Me?
Care. And they're like, well, as long as you think it exists, you're a Zionist. And then they spam blast me. And I'm like, are you guys trying to make me like Israel? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because you're certainly not arguing.
Alex Jones used to say the same thing too. He'd be like, congratulations, all you Israel obsessed people in your mommy's basement. You made me support Israel more. That's what he says. He's used that same line.
Passionately in a way to make me your friend.
Is it working?
This is not, I still don't care. Like, I am America, okay? Like, I am an American citizen. That's what I mean. I don't care.
I don't care. I'm just totally neutral. That's what Jones would always say, too. I don't think they're that big of a deal. You're just, like, obsessed with Israel, man. He said that to guests before, too. You're just obsessed with Israel. No wonder Netanyahu's inviting you to these meetings. You just don't care. Israel's not a big deal, guys. What are you guys worried about?
You know, it's like when they come to me and they're like, Israel did a bad thing, I'm like, wow, that's awful. And? Well, we should stop funding them. Okay. You're a Zionist. What?
Yeah.
It's like, this is the problem with these people. That's why I think this fervent Israel derangement syndrome is really irks me.
Israel derangement syndrome. Okay, David Icke shared a See Through It All mix. That's good to see, although it didn't go very viral. 770, only 700 likes. That's not that good for him. I think a lot of people online, they see a rabbi looking like this and they just don't even want to listen to more than 2 seconds.
Or is it going to come away?
Especially when they sound like that. But he says he shared See Through It All. Is he following you, See Through It All? Are you in the chat? I wonder if he's following you. He doesn't follow me. Brother B says his Instagram was banned. Hold on. Your TikTok got banned. Follow the Instagram. I've been seeing people, somebody else emailed me the other day. They got an Instagram account like Hashem something, Torah something. They're sharing my videos there and getting like thousands of likes. I told you, this is how you guys can help. Create accounts, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Create accounts. Take content from the show, clips of me or compilations of rabbis or compilations that me and See Through It All or John Garadas have made, that Paper Jesus has made, and post them. Help spread the message by creating accounts and posting shit. Somebody did it, and they're already getting thousands of likes, more likes than I get on any of my platforms. So that's good to see. Good job, Brother B. I hope greatest luck to your Instagram account. All right. Ike says people like this guy are utterly bonkers, but the madness he is describing is happening with Trump playing his role to perfection. Edom has to secede its power to the Jewish people, meaning America has to fall for Israel to rise. Check this out.
You see, being that we are now in the year of 81, which Af, and as I said earlier, Af means completing the tikkun of this lowly world, which concludes with the tikkun of Esav, fixing Esav, Af Asisiv. At the last moments, we're holding right now when the kingship and the power is going to be given from Esav back to the Jewish people, back to Yaakov. Now, Esav is referred to in the Torah as the animal, as the pig. Why is Esav referred to as the pig? Because in Hebrew, the pig is called chazir. Chazir means to return. So the Midrash says one of the reasons he's referred to as a pig is because he's going to take the crown and he's going to give it back. That they're the ones that are going to bring the crown back to the Jewish people. That means the power of leadership is going to go back to Israel. That means like this. We're in exile. How are we going to get out of exile? Is it going to be that the exile is going to end because God is going to break it and then God is going to liberate the Jewish people and God is going to give kingship to Israel? Or is it going to come away that the force of exile itself is going to make a turnaround at the end, do tshuva, so to speak, and give over the crown to the rightful owner, which is Mashiach, who is the ultimate king of the world? The Medrash tells us, and there's a lot, that it's going to be in a manner of transition. The last king of Edom is going to fix everything, and he's going to lift it up, the whole Edom, that the exile itself is going to become an empowerment for redemption. He's going to empower the redemption. What's the whole point of exile? Really, Jewish people represent God's kingship in this world. Through Israel, the entire world will be enlightened. The entire world will be elevated.
We're going to save the whole world, light to the nations, tikkun olam. God made us to save all you dumb goyim, all you evil heathen barbarians.
God is the kingdom, and God's kingship will come through Mashiach. The only reason we go to exile is to fix, just like Yaakov. We go in.
See, this is why Christianity is such a problem. God's kingdom will be brought on by Moshiach, and the Christians, like Nick Fuentes, confirm that. They affirm that idea. They reinforce that idea as real, that they're chosen. They were the chosen people, and the Messiah is to come through them, and the Messiah is meant to conquer all the world.
Into the territories of the nations is to fix them. Once the fixing is completed, then Edom has to secede its power to the Jewish people. Now, that doesn't mean that Edom has less success. Quite on the contrary, when they're not kings, when they're not in power, when the Jewish people, when Israel will be restored to its kingship, the entire world will be wealthier and healthier and live with utter bliss and wealth and affluence and goodness in an amazing way. But it's all in a state of surrender towards God of Israel, Jews is terrible, and to the King of Israel, which is
surrender to the God of Israel and the Moshiach of Israel. Submit, Goyim, every knee will bow.
The God of Israel, which is to Mashiach. It's all in a state of surrender towards the God of Israel, which is to Mashiach, and to the King of Israel, which is the Jewish, which is Mashiach. Netanyahu is not the Mashiach in any way, shape, or form.
Netanyahu is not the Moshiach, confirmed by this rabbi, I guess.
He represents now the Jewish a force in the land of Israel. Netanyahu, Trump giving the key to him, that's awesome. Edom is going to continue. But now they're operating already in subservience to Israel, to the Jewish people, and to help the rebuilding of the third temple.
Oh, Edom must be subservient. He says Trump and America and Edom and the Christians are subservient to the Jewish people, helping them to rebuild the third temple. This is a good one for See Through It All to find and for David to share.
Once Mashiach's crown is revealed as Mashiach's kingdom, the Jewish kingdom is beginning to get up already. Hisnari meyafar kumi, get up from the dirt. Israel is rising. Once that happens, Edom falls. So you watched, and we all saw in front of 70 million Americans, I think, that watched it that night, the fall of Edom, the spiritual force, the honor of it, and its physical. Now, when I say a fall, I want to very, very carefully demonstrate over here. It's not to the disadvantage of America. It's actually, this will be the badge of honor of the United States forever and ever.
See, falling, first of all, we've seen what they say about Edom. This guy's bullshitting what they say about Edom. It's not that he goes, your falling is actually a win. Your destruction is actually a win. That's what he's trying to sell. Unbelievable.
I want to very, very carefully demonstrate over here. It's not to the disadvantage of America. It's actually, this will be the badge of honor of the United States.
See, your badge of honor will to be fall and to have you be subservient and submit to Israel. Israel in control is actually good for you, Goyim. Well, look at that face. Look at that one.
Ever and ever. People will be, the song I'm proud to be an American will be sung like never before, because America will go down in eternal history as the ones that paved the way for the return of the kingdom of David. The ones that assisted. I believe Donald Trump will go down in history as an eternal hero for his role that he's playing.
There will be the role that he's playing. There will be a book of Trump, like Miriam Adelson called for. The Cyrus, the King David of our age, the Constantine of the Edom.
Esav is being taken down, since Esav is such a power. When Esav is being taken down, the entire world is unraveled. That's what's causing all this tension and all the craziness. It's the takedown of Esav and the rising of Yaakov. And what happens then?
The takedown of America and the rising of the Jews is what he means by that.
And God says to the Jewish people, you're so afraid, everything I've done before, for your sake, come into my sukkah. The Yaakov nosa sikoisa, Yaakov goes into the sukkah. And that's our sukkah of this year, 5781, which we stayed in the sukkah and represents the entire year, that Hashem is shielding and protecting us. Don't be afraid of anything. Everything is for your sake. It's awesome.
Everything is for your sake. Little chutzpah there.
The world was created for you.
Let's see. I think I had another rabbi clip I wanted to play. We're only an hour and 20 minutes in. Let's see. Where is the other one that See Through It All had? I think this is it. Yes, the Kabbalah Secrets of Christianity. Let's hear this one.
Israel.
New see through it all mix. Rabbi Shapira. Let's check this
Who
one
is
out.
Yaakov? Yaakov represents Israel. What about Esau? Who is Esau representing the story? And we can start with what Abarbanel says. Rabbi Yitzchak Abarbanel. He says, Rabbi Yitzchak Abarbanel says, the soul of Esau reincarnated in the Christian Yeshua. And that is why he was in the desert, a man of quarrel and strife. That's true. Yeshua says, I came to bring strife to the world. He's right. To the Pharisees and sages. And his name is like the name of Esau. And a matter of fact, when you take the name Esau and you look at the numerical value of the word Esau, you get two important words. You get the word shalom, which means peace. Very interesting. But you also get the value.
Piss? Shalom means piss? No, peace.
Of the word Yeshua. Allow me to suggest to you today, as we're going through this, that Esau is a picture of Christianity as a whole. And a matter of fact, starting in the second temple destruction, okay, with the second destruction, when the rabbi started to look at the prophecies, especially in like the book of Daniel and other places, Esau's name was Edom. And Edom is if you go to any Jew in the world, say, who is Edom? They will tell you Edom is Christianity. It's a name, it's a code word for all of Christianity today. Edom comes from the Hebrew word dam and blood, and that's exactly what is taking place in the last 2,000 years. It's true. And again, what was Esau about? Esau was a man of Malet side. He was filled with the game, with the blood. He was filled in the things that related to what we say, olam hazeh. He was concerned about this world. Remember what I told you, the kingdom, this is important. The kingdom has two parts. The kingdom has a part above, and their kingdom have a part below. There are two types of kingdoms. And they're divided, they're fighting over those kingdoms. Yaakov and Esau, this is really what it is about. It is about the fighting over the dominion of the kingdom of God. Esau, on the left side, represents Olam Hazeh. Esau also represents Christianity. Esau also represents the Messiah, who is son of Joseph.
Esau represents the son of Joseph. Jesus as the son of Joseph, the suffering Messiah. The Messiah that dies, the first coming of the Messiah of the Gentiles.
Also represent the Golah, the exile. Okay, think about this. Who exiled the Jewish people? Who took the menorah? Think about those things. On the right side, we have the Olam Haba, the world to come. We see the other entity. His name is Yaakov, who is called Israel. He represents Judaism. He represents Messiah, son of David, and he represents the Geulah, the redemption of Israel. It is a picture of the cross. But notice that in the cross, there is a middle pillar. And yesterday I left you with a question, what is the middle pillar represent? Who is the middle pillar? We learned that the middle pillar is Mashiach himself. In essence, everybody has to be grafted into the Messiah, Jew and non-Jew. I would like to believe that the middle
Everybody's got to be grafted into the Messiah, Jew and non-Jew. Sounds like Paul, right? Hey, do you guys want to be grafted into the Jewish Messiah that we have to submit to? The King of the Jews that wants to rule the world from Jerusalem according to the Hebrew prophecies? Does that sound like a good plan for you guys?
Forget about it.
Pass. But the Christians want to. And the Christians only want to, they want to force you to as well.
With the question, what is the middle pillar represent? Who is the middle pillar? We learned that the middle pillar is Mashiach himself. In essence, everybody has to be grafted into the Messiah, Jew and non-Jew. I would like to believe that the middle pillar in the cross that Judaism speak about so much is none other than Messianic Jewish movement. Do you want to know what I believe? I believe that that's why God has raised the Messianic Jewish movement to be a middle pillar between Judaism and Christianity. Yesterday I introduced you to a Hasidic term. Again, it was very difficult to explain it in the short time that I had, but this term is the term berur. I explained to you yesterday what is a berur. A berur is a term that's speaking about, I'm still having difficulty to describe the word berur, but I would say a berur is revelation, revealing Jacob and revealing Esau. Not all of Jacob is Jacob, and not all of Esau is Esau. It's in essence unmasking them. It's the berurim represent the tikkun, the work that we do to prepare the ground for reconciliation. Berur is literally mean clarification. Okay, who is really Yaakov? Okay, who is really Esau? What is the feud between them? Oh, the feud is on the kingdom? Let's talk about it for the sake of the kingdom. There's truly an historic feud between Judaism and Christianity. And somehow we have to do the birur of this. In essence, today we have to get an explicit answer. Who is Yeshua? What is Christianity? Who is Jacob? We have to get a clarity around it before there is a reconciliation.
We call him Yaakov. He called him Jacob.
So we have to kind of loosen the ground through the concept that is called birur. Okay, we have to go through this. There's another step after the birur. Elder Brav, inside Christianity and pull them out and bring them out. Do not focus on the darkness. Don't be antagonistic. Don't be hateful. Don't be anti-Christian. Learn from Yaakov. Part of the Chibur.
Okay, I'm going to have to watch the rest of that later. We got some shorter ones here. A couple more rabbi clips. See through it all.
The Jewish people. We say in the first pasuk of Bereshis, it says, Bereshis bara Elokim es hashamayim v'ha'aretz. In the beginning, Hashem created heaven and earth. And we all are taught, and this is absolutely true. Rashi says it right in the beginning, that the word Bereshis, that means as soon as you start your beginning of Bible study of Torah.
This guy reminds me a little bit of the author of Game of Thrones, George R.R. Martin.
This is the first word, the first thing you need to know. The whole world was created for the Jewish people and for the Torah. B'shvil HaTorah, b'shvil Yisrael, for the sake of the Jewish people observing the Torah. We say in the first pasuk of Bereshis, it says, Bereshis bara Elokim es hashamayim v'ha'aretz. In the beginning, Hashem created heaven.
All made for them. Let's see, what else do we got here? Oh, here's the same guy talking about the 7 Noahide laws.
Because we say that this commandment, we sometimes shy away and we feel very small and very powerless to be able to execute this. Because we say that what? But how in the world can we do this? I mean, it's such a big Gentile world.
Keyword execute.
Moshe Rabbeinu is saying, Mipi HaGevura, God who is the creator of the whole, the almighty one, the strong one, the powerful one. So he empowers you to be able to fulfill this commandment. And what is that? Lakuf is called by olam. To force. Let's see what that means. To compel. Let's use the word compel. To compel all those who come to the world. That means all of humanity. Lekabel kol mitzvah shenetztav noyach. To accept the 7 Noahide laws.
Yo, thank you, Asylum 8, throwing a few bucks on Rumble to support. Thank you. Lawful Pencil says, stay strong, man. Oh, that's from way earlier. Okay. They all sound and look like rodents. That's funny.
Oh, yeah, okay. When the Jewish people have the authority and the ability to enforce, anybody that doesn't accept the 7 Noahide laws loses their life, should be killed. That's what it says in Rambam. Okay. But what do you see from here? Before we get into the details, you see one thing. We, the Jewish people, we're commanded by Hashem to ensure that all the nations as well keep their mitzvahs. What are the mitzvahs the greater mitzvahs that were given for humanity? The greater mitzvahs that were given for humanity are the 7 mitzvahs. What are the 7 mitzvahs? Quickly, it's not to serve any idol.
Stanton CG says, are these rabbis preaching to themselves or on Zoom, etc.? I rarely hear any crowd noise. You hear the crowd sometimes. I think that these guys go to yeshivas. They just record their yeshiva synagogue sermons or whatever they're called. Are these rabbis preaching to themselves or on Zoom, etc.? I rarely hear any crowd. Keep doing your awesome work. Sometimes they're by themselves. A lot of times they're with a crowd. Depends on the rabbi. Depends on the video. Stereotyping Jews is terrible?
Stereotyping Jews is terrible. The greater mitzvahs that were given for humanity are the 7 mitzvahs. What are the 7 mitzvahs? Quickly, it's not to serve any idols. It's to believe in one God. Right? Not to serve in any idols. Not a prohibition against blasphemy. In other words, the nations of the world have their own responsibility to God.
No blasphemy? You can't say anything bad about Hashem?
It was given to them when? From Adam and then to Noah. It has nothing to do with us. But once the Torah was given to the Jewish people, even though the 613 are commandments to us.
The 7 Noahide laws aren't from us. They're not from the rabbis, he says. They're from Moses, or who did he say? Adam and Moses? Adam and Noah?
But included in our commandment is that we have to assure, and we're responsible for the nations keeping their mitzvahs. So we do find out that the Torah, by Matan Torah, it wasn't just Hashem giving us a way to be religious in our own connection, our own little cocoon of our own little bubble. That's not the way it was. There is a responsibility of us for the man. I'll share with you a very interesting Sefarno. The Sefarno on the pasuk, Va'atem tiyem li mamleches kohanim. You will be a kingdom of priests. So there's a foreign who says, kohanim means ulahavin, to give to understanding, ulahoirois, and to direct, l'chol hamin ha'anushi, to all of the human race. See? So the foreigner says clearly, it's our responsibility, similar to Avram Avinu, who was influencing all the people that he came into contact with, l'chol hamin ha'anushi, to all of the human race, likrei kulam b'shem Hashem, to call out in the name of Hashem, u'la'avdei Shechem echad, and to serve Him with one. It's our job to bring as many people in all of the world to serve Hashem, recognize Hashem.
See, their ultimate goal, getting everybody in the world to recognize the God that chose them. That's the goal. And they say Jesus helped do this, which He clearly did. Got you to believe in the Jewish Messiah and the God of Israel. And Christians still want to be in denial about this.
Okay, like he says, and when will this be ultimately fulfilled? In the days of Mashiach. Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, and from Tzion will go out Torah for the entire world.
Torah for the entire world. And now the Goyim in America are mandating the 10 Commandments. Same exact plan. Another rabbi explaining it.
How is he going to do this?
Christians act like there aren't, all of these clips don't exist. They act like this isn't the goal, and then they're blind to the fact on how Jesus helped fulfill this goal through Christianity and Islam, the inventors of Jesus, I should say.
And the real question is, how is he going to do this? No one has ever done this throughout human history. And I mean, not only to the Jewish people will he do this, he will do this even to the Goyim. The Goyim at that time will all become believers in God, in the Jewish God.
The Goyim will all become believers in the Jewish God, the ultimate goal of Judaism. And what was Paul and the first Christians? Hey, Goyim, your gods are fallen angels. They're demons. You need to you want to be saved? You got to worship the God of Israel and the Jewish Messiah, the King of the Jews.
Will all become believers in God, in the Jewish God. They will simply throw out all their versions of who God is, whether that God is Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha or the Hindu.
With some rabbis, the only problem they have with Jesus is the Trinity, the idea that that the Messiah is God.
Deities for good and forever. So this is a great power that he will have. And the real question is...
And there's laws they're passing right now. The IRA definition of anti-Semitism, the laws say that you can't talk about a conspiracy for them to rule the world when every single rabbi on the internet is like, oh, the Goyim will worship our Messiah, our King, the King David, the Judean, and Yahweh, Hashem. Christianity serves the Jews all right.
We need to understand that the Bible tells us... We as Christians need to understand that the Bible tells us that the Jews are God's chosen people. We as Christians need to understand that God gave the so-called land of Palestine to the Jewish people, to Israel, which they have occupied in perpetuity for 3,000 years, not always ruling it, but they've been there in that land that God gave them. And we need to understand that we should be praying for them because God gave us the Bible through the Jews. God gave us our Messiah as a Jewish man. And so the Bible says...
And everybody knows this. The Bible's Jewish. Jesus was Jewish. All the first Christians were Jewish. Besides the Christians online, besides the E-Crusaders Christians online, everybody knows this. In fact, they LARP and lie and pretend to follow a Christianity that isn't even based in reality. Complete denial to cope that they worship the Jewish God.
God speaking. I will bless those that bless you. Speaking of the Jewish people in Israel, I'll curse those that curse you. It's in the best interest of our nation to pray for and support Israel. It's in the best interest of every Christian to pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
This is Greg Laurie, too, a hugely influential pastor, I think in Southern California, I want to say.
I do not represent all Christians. I speak for myself, but I do believe I represent many, if not most, when I say we love the Jewish people, we love the state of Israel, and we stand by you, and we are against anti-Semitism in all of its forms, wherever it is expressed. I'm not Jewish. I wish I was. But I have benefited from your people and from your faith and from the book you have preserved so well and handed on to all of us, the Bible. My life was changed by Jesus Christ when I was a confused young man going the wrong way in life. I'd never read the Bible before. I opened it up and I
Confused is code for gay.
discovered how much of a book it is about the history of Israel. And I follow and worship the same God you follow, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And so I would like to close with a blessing that the priest would give to the people. The Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. There is a teaching that is called replacement theology. And this is why you don't hear this talked about in some pulpits in America. Replacement theology basically says that God is done with the nation Israel, and the church, that would be believers in Jesus Christ, have taken their place. In other words, they're no longer God's chosen people. Now we are God's chosen people. Now the fact is, the Israelites, the Jews, the Hebrews always have been and always will be God's chosen people.
No, but we want to be chosen too. We want to be grafted in. We want to be the descendants. We want to be the spiritual Israel. So annoyed, so tired of Christians saying that shit. So pathetic. They want to be Jews. They want to be Jews, spiritual Jews, circumcised hearts. And then me and you guys don't believe in magical Jews, don't believe in Jewish prophecies, not interested in bowing down to a Jewish Messiah and worshiping Hashem, the God of Israel and Zion. And then the wannabe Jew Christians call us Jews. That's how delusional the situation is.
Okay, but we as Christians have been grafted into the promises of God. I told the folks today, I thank them for preserving scripture for us. And I thank them for the Bible. And I said, because when
Thanks for the Bible, Jews. We owe you, Jews. Thanks for the Bible. Like it says, the Gentiles owe the Jews for the spiritual blessings. Being grafted in sounds super gay. It sure does.
I came into a relationship with Jesus Christ. And I told all
a homosexual, homoerotic relationship where you get off on him being tortured with his washboard abs.
That it's Christ that's changed my life. When I became a Christian, I started to read the Bible. And I realized it was a history book of the Jewish people. I didn't know anything about the Jewish people before that. But I do now, and so do you, because we study the scripture. So replacement theology is false. Because Paul writes in Romans 11 these words, has God rejected his own people, the nation of Israel? Of course not. So they're not rejected. God still has a plan and a purpose for them. And one day, there is going to be a spiritual awakening in Israel. And many, many Jewish people are going to embrace Jesus as their Messiah. So I see my job right now is to love them.
Imagine Christians, their only problem with Jews is they don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe in their Messiah that was meant to conquer us. Such a joke of an issue.
Let them know we care for them, to pray for them. When opportunity arises, certainly share the gospel with them, because this is something we all want to do. Another interesting thing Paul says in Romans 11 is that God works.
Right, in Romans 11, see through it all, says, you're just supposed to make the Jews jealous by loving their God and praying for them that they'll believe in Jesus one day.
So the Gentiles, that's us, non-Jews. And I did a 23andMe test hoping I was Jewish. There's not a drop of Jewish blood in me. I want to find out I have some connection. Well, I'm connected spiritually to them.
Spiritually Jewish.
As a follower of Christ. But
you're spiritual Jews.
Go ahead and clap. Yeah, that's good. Right. But
spiritually wannabe Jews.
Paul makes an interesting statement.
You say you're Jews, but you're not. Sound familiar?
In Romans 11, he says that God does this work in the Gentiles. That is the non-Jews. We come into a relationship with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob through Jesus Christ, and we're walking with the Lord. And Paul says, I'm hoping that through your life, this would provoke the Jewish people to jealousy. In other words, that they would want this relationship with God like you Gentiles, you non-Jews have.
We're going to show you Jews how to bow to your Messiah and make you so jealous. Look how much harder we want to be Jews and worship your God better than you Jews. You're not Jewing right, Jews. You need to do Judaism better, Jews. Like that's the problem Christians have. Let's see. We got a few more here. Christians are fulfilling God's plan of Esau becoming the bitch of
Looking
Jacob.
forward? No. The biggest revenge is, and we go through history, we know that Esau was the worst oppressor of the Jewish people. We've gone through the worst suffering through the descendants of Esau, they were initially the Romans, and then later, this whole exile is the Roman exile. It's the exile of Edom, which represents all the oppression the Jewish people went and had in the Western countries, all under Europe, under the Christian world. We suffered horribly. And yet, the real story of the Parsha is that at that most pivotal moment when Yaakov is afraid that Esau is literally going to bite his head off, he is so surprised that Esau embraces him, hugs him, and sincerely weeps. And I have a brotherly deep moment, a very intimate moment of deep brotherly love between Yaakov and Esau. And we know that symbolizes the coming together of Yaakov and Esau in the Messianic era. Ovadia was a convert. Ovadia was a convert from the lands of Edom. So he comes from the world of Edom. He prophesizes the demise of Edom. Again, Edom is the world of Esau. Esau is going to be held accountable for the Holocaust, for the Crusades, for the Khmelnytsky massacres by the Cossacks, for the Inquisitions, for the Romans' brutality and all of that. They're finally going to have to answer for that. That's the simple meaning. That's immature. There's something much deeper. We're not seeking the revenge. Whether there will be payback, yes. But is that what we're looking for? No. The biggest revenge is when the enemy himself is transformed to become on our side. So that's the ultimate vengeance of the Jewish people, that we make the unholy world holy. That's Mashiach. And he is the one who is going to complete the tikkun of Esau, the transformation of Esau. We always learned about this. We always heard about this. But it was a far dream. Who would ever thought that's possible? Today we are living prophecy, biblical prophecy being fulfilled in front of our eyes. Now, in the midst of all of this animosity and hatred coming from all the European countries, coming obviously from the Arab countries.
See, they think that the rise in anti-Semitism means their redemption is near. It's part of the plan. All the nations turning against them, blaming them for everything, blaming them for the Gog and Magog war when we mutually destroy each other.
The European countries, coming from the UN and coming from even the State Department in the United States, the media, the college campuses, from all the places in the world, mysteriously something that doesn't make any sense. I mean, obviously our survival is dependent only on Hashem. Our survival is not dependent on anybody.
He's going to say, I haven't watched this yet, he's going to say that the Christian anti-Semitism, the anti-Semitism is key to their survival. Watch, I have a feeling.
But in the natural world, as it's being played out in the world that we see, there is one supporter to Israel and Jews living in the land of Israel.
The Christians?
And who are these?
The Christians. Evangelicals.
One supporter is millions and millions of Christian evangelicals.
Where would they be without their Shabbos Goy Christians?
Talking about the biggest support in terms of money, in terms of political pressure. Now, our president has been doing stunning things for Israel. Stunning. Everybody's wondering, well, what is he getting from it? Now, whether he's getting from, well, again, I believe it's
100 million plus from the Adelsons, all the top Jewish awards.
It's a messianic transformation having to do with the transformation of Esau, which is affecting him on his own. But if there is anything we can point to that he might be getting from it, if you're saying that it's a self-motivated, which you would think probably, why would he be just caring? I mean, his daughter is Jewish and his Jewish grandchildren, but why would he care so much and put his neck out for the Jewish people? Simply, it's because the Christian vote, the evangelical vote, they're the ones who are pushing it, and they're the ones who have been defending Israel in the United States government, in the Congress, in the Senate, bill after bill.
See, this rabbi sees it. Why do our politicians are all ultra-Zionists? Because of the Zionist voters is one of the biggest reasons. Stranglehold that Israel has over America is due to Christianity. You're not opposing Jewish influence while you're believing the Jewish Bible and you believe in Jewish prophecies. You don't want to be influenced by Jews? Don't be influenced by their Bible. It's fake. It's fiction. Anyway, believing in their fiction is the key to their power.
Ending like ferociously fighting. And who are they? They are the spiritual heirs of Esav. And they've been doing it for the last, I don't know how long, but 34. And lately, it's not just in America, it's in South America, and it's across the world.
Zionist across the world.
Now, Jews are always suspicious. Jews are very suspicious. So we immediately say, oh, come on. Got something up their sleeve. Got something up their sleeve. This is not pure motives. They have their, eventually, they have, of course.
They just want to help. They're just helping you to usher in help you fulfill your prophecies, to usher in the Antichrist so Jesus returns. And then you will all convert, or you'll be cast into the lake of fire. That's what sometimes they say about the fundamentalist Christians.
Of course, I don't think it's 100% pure. It doesn't have to be. But let me explain something. Maimonides says, Rambam says, that the very notion of Christianity to begin with, the reason was they believe in a Mashiach, was to pave the way for Mashiach to come to the world, because the concept of tikkun olam, of a perfect world, entered into the human consciousness, became a global phenomenon because of the spread of Christianity.
Yeah, the idea of the kingdom. And remember this, these Catholics or Orthodox Christians will always say, you think you're debating a Protestant. We're not Protestants. I agree with you on the Christians, but they're just heretical, blah, 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 all the Copes, all the no true Scotsmans. Doesn't change the fact that they're the ones with all the power and the influence, and they're advancing the agenda, and you can't do anything to stop it. But even before, long before Schofield Bible, long before the Zionist movement, long before the Protestant Reformation, Maimonides already said Christianity is preparing the world for the Messiah. And it's just a fact. People say, Adam, you're wrong because you're only right in regards to Protestants, but they're not real Christians. And I say it doesn't matter the denomination. Christianity is fake. It was started by Jews. It's a myth, a Jewish myth meant to subdue the Gentiles and have the Gentiles abandon the pagan idol worship and worship their God. This denomination, I don't care about denominations. All of them. The inception, from the foundation. It's a psyop in the sense that it's fake. Their intent was to theologically conquer the nations, and it was created by Jews. Nobody could dispute that. No serious person, everybody besides Christians knows the Bible's myth. Jesus, the stories of Jesus in the Bible are not real. They're myth. Otherwise, they'd be Christians. So everybody that's not a Christian. And everybody also agrees that these myths originated as a branch of Judaism, as an offshoot of Judaism, exclusively as a Jewish movement is how it began.
So if the Rambam says that about the old Christian world, which butchered and massacred on the name and have claimed all along that God made a new covenant with the new Jews, and he dumped the old Jews. That was the old Christians, the European Christians.
We're the Jews now.
If even they are part of the purification of humanity towards Mashiach, how much more so?
Christians are part of the purification of humanity towards Moshiach. And the Christians online go, la, 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 you believe the rabbis, la, la, la. They all say this. They've been saying it for 800 years. They're not wrong. Christianity is more kosher than ever. They turned pagans against themselves, and they became the golem and the instruments of opposing the Jewish Messiah on the world. The rabbis brag. They laugh. They're not wrong about this. And the Christians cover it up. They're actively suppressing it because they're agents of the conspiracy, agents and accomplices of the conspiracy.
The new Christian, if you can say, who is a million times closer, if you can say, to supporting Israel, because there's a fundamental difference in the way the evangelicals look at. They believe in whatever Yashka, as we say, Jay. They believe in him as the Messiah, and they believe that he will come back, and so on and so forth. But fundamentally, they believe that those who bless them will be blessed. That the Jewish people are God's chosen people, and God never took his love away from Israel. They think that Jews need to accept that Mashiach, so on and so forth. But that's only a tiny little a tiny little correction that needs to be made. The way you change someone is little by little. You don't change a person immediately. You don't have snap your finger, then it's not a real.
See, they changed you Christians little by little. First, they get you on board with Christianity 1.0, make it seem like it's anti-Jewish, but yet you're still worshiping the Jewish God and getting rid of the idol worship, the pagan idol worship. How many rabbis do we need to show you saying this and saying they prefer Christianity to our pagan, ancient, ancestral religions? And again, this is not to say that our ancient ancestral religions are true or those gods are real. But if we're going to be believing in imaginary gods and imaginary kings, let's make sure they're not Jewish, right? See Through It All? See Through It All said that the other day. New rule. If we're going to believe in deities, make sure they're not Jewish. That's all I ask. Is that too much to ask? Religions to have nothing to do with Jews?
Real change. A true change is that you have an argument with someone, and then they concede a little bit. Then a little while later, as you argue your point a little further, they'll concede a little more. And eventually, they'll say, oh, you're right. You understand what I'm saying? You don't change immediately. But this is crazy. Out of all forces in the world, the least expected would have been Edom. And yet, Edom, from all people, are the greatest supporters and assisting the Jewish people. I mean, the strength that Israel has now regarding Yerushalayim, the strength that the Jewish people have now regarding the Golan Heights, the strength that the Jewish people have now regarding settlements in Yehuda and Shomron, which is amazingly powerful. The United States recognizes it. This is God's plan. This is the Eibishter running.
He just says all of their power is thanks to Christianity. If it weren't for Christians and Muslims upholding, excuse me. Excuse me, I had a little bit of a cold the last few days. If it weren't for Christianity, Judaism would be like a fringe, powerless, like obscure sect without Christianity.
His thing and getting things done in a stunning way, which is messianic because it's both supernatural and natural as well. It's working through the natural political system, but at the same time, it's acting in the...
These rabbis will brag all of their power. So much of their power comes from the Christians supporting them. And then these guys on the internet will say, there's nothing they hate more than Jesus. As if they know better. As if they've done more research into what rabbis actually say. And then they'll say, oh, you expose Christianity, but not rabbis. Really? Because I'm exposing rabbis damn near more than anybody in the world.
The most weirdest way, unbelievable things around. No one would have believed that this was possible. This is this week's parsha. The parsha, transformation of Esav. As what we're witnessing Moshiach with our eyes. People don't realize how close we are. It's not we're close to Moshiach. We are already in the Moshiach experience. The thing that people are not noticing yet is Moshiach Tzidkenu himself, the one who's behind this light, that Menachem that we were talking about earlier, that's the power behind all of that. That has not been recognized yet in the world. It will be recognized very, very soon. And if you remember what Rivka heard when she was...
Two nations in thy womb will wrestle against each other, Jacob and Esau.
Told about what's going on in her womb. She felt that battle, that ferocious battle going on. And what did she know what's happening. Her kids seemed to be confused. She went to ask Shem, the great Navi, the great prophet, and Shem had a message from God. He said, you have two empires, two kingdoms, and they're going to clash with each other. Rashi explains, when one rises, the other will fall. They will never have power at the same time. So that's what the verse is saying. Before Israel got power, Edom had power, 8 kings. And Rashi goes ahead to say, well, the Jews...
I thought it was 7 kings. Am I correcting the rabbi here? It was 7 kings of Edom. Why is he saying 8? Hold on. Let's hear that one more time, and then we'll do a fact check. I think there's something going on with these guys.
They're up to something over there. I can smell it.
Literally smell it. 7 kings of Edom. Is this going to come over there? Come on. What is... Look how my shit's frozen. Some of these rabbis are in Israel. All right. Let's close this out. That's not working.
She went to ask Shem, the great Navi, the great prophet, And Shane had a message from God. He said, you have two empires, two kingdoms, and they're going to clash with each other. When one rises, the other will fall. They will never have power at the same time. So that does the verses say. Before Israel got power,
they say, we're your greatest ally. We're defending Western civilization. And then all the rabbis say, in order for them to achieve their ambitions, you have to fall. You have to be subservient to us.
Edom had power, 8 kings. And Rashi goes ahead to say, well, the Jewish people also had 8. And Rashi goes to say the next 8 generations. And after 8 generations, later after we had 8 kings, Edom rebelled against Israel and got its own, and restated its emperor, its sovereignty, its ruler. So it's a seesaw. One goes up, the other goes down. It will always be 2 powerful forces in the world. Yaakov and Esau. Fine.
Jacob and Esau, Christianity and Islam, wrestling together, 2 nations in thy womb. No way it's controlled opposition, though. Just a coincidence that Christianity represents Esau and Islam represents Ishmael. They didn't plan it that way. Just it's God's cosmic drama. He's a good script writer. Trust the plan. Nothing they hate more. Right, Goy? Let's see. Okay, we got 3 minutes left. I'm going to save the Roseanne and Gog and Magog stuff for the next stream. I got a little bit more material for the next stream. Unfortunately, remember, guys, wait, hold on. Let's see. Don't want that. Let's do this last one. Last Christian.
The second point, though, in the presuppositional apologetic methodology.
Oh, no, I can't do this.
Internal critique. That is
okay, I can't hear this. Never mind. We'll do that another day. Guys, demonetize on Odysee. Please support. Subscribestar link below. I'll work on getting the Power Chat set up. I'm looking forward to Power Chat to read out the super chats from you guys. I wouldn't be able to do it without you. Thank you all so much for the support today on Rumble. We got Televised Lies says, Marx said in his Communist Manifesto that nothing is easier than to give Christianity, asceticism, a socialist king. Yeah, he was critical of that. Parhisha Time says, hey, Adam, great to catch a live. Keep up the amazing work, brother. P.S. The repost of live stream won't play for some reason. Big love from Australia. Thank you, Parhisha. You're the man. Repost of the live stream won't play. Repost where won't play. No more black they live shirts, but the new shirts I'm going to be having black too. Maybe we'll do black they live again at some point, but guys, censored on BitChute now in Europe or England. Demonetized on Odysee, my main source of income as of today. So please support with the Subscribestar link below, the P.O. box below. Every dollar helps. Vote with your dollars. Try to keep me going. Don't let them get a big W. Every time they censor and deplatform and demonetize, if you guys don't pick up the slack, it's a win for them and a big L for us. Help me expose this Jesus deception. Help me expose the Abrahamic psyops and gatekeepers. We're making a big impact already. We got a long way to go. Huge thank you to everybody that's clipping the show, creating accounts, sharing links, sharing clips, links, rabbi compilations. Help us get the message out. Hail the old gods. Down with Yahweh. I love you all, and I will see you guys again very soon. Hopefully we'll have the Power Chat worked out next time. All right. We got a bunch more to cover tomorrow, and I will see you guys then. Take care. Take care. This has been a tough one today. You know what I mean?
You caught me. I like to break a mental sweat, too.
I had to break a mental sweat today.